Okay, we are moving on to chapter 8.1. It is on three-dimensional figures. If you would like to follow along, I'm in the textbook on page 356. Lots of important vocabulary terms in this section. So the first one is a solid. A solid is a three-dimensional figure that encloses a space. So you need to know that. You also need to know that a polyhedron is a solid whose faces are all polygons. Okay, the next one is a face. A face is a flat surface of a polyhedron or 3D figure. A vertex, or you'll see it written like this, a vertice, is a point where three or more edges connect. I call those the corners of the shape. So the corners of the shape are going to be your vertex or your vertices. An edge. Edge are going to be the line segment where two faces connect. They're just the lines that make the shape. So the lines that you draw when you're making a shape, those are going to be the edges. And then you need to know what a net is. A net is a flattened out version of a 3D figure that can be cut out and folded into the three-dimensional figure. If we were in class, I would have given each of you a net of a 3D figure that you could cut out and make your own three-dimensional figure out of. But since we're not in the classroom, I will show you. This is a net of a cube. So if you cut out all of this, these are little tabs that would help you glue it together. So if you cut all of this out and then you folded it up, it would make a cube, and I'll show you that. I'll go ahead and do that so you can see. Okay, so now I've cut out that net of a cube. I've folded it along the lines and where the little tabs are. And I'm just going to fold this up into a cube on all the sides. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, scary, but this is my three-dimensional cube that I was able to make from that net. And you'll see it looks like a dice, right? Or a die. If you're gonna roll a dice, roll a die. It has one, here's my two, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides to it. They are all squares and it makes a three-dimensional shape. I can hold it in my hand and I can look on all of the sides. Now, these would be the edges. They're the lines that make the shape. So every line that would have to be drawn to make the shape would be the edge. The faces are going to be the flat sides, the ones that I have numbered. So that would be this whole flat side here. And then the vertices or vertex would be the corners. So you have corners here, corner here, corner here, corner here, and on the other sides as well. So keep that in mind as we go further in the notes. Okay, let's talk about a prism versus a pyramid. So you're going to have to name some three-dimensional shapes, and it's going to be helpful to know if it's a prism or if it is a pyramid. So two different definitions here. So a prism is going to be a polyhedron, just a three-dimensional figure that has two parallel identical bases. So they're going to be opposite of each other. And the lateral, they say lateral, but it's just the side faces are going to be parallelograms, or they look like rectangles. A pyramid, however, is going to be a three-dimensional shape that only has one base, and it's usually on the bottom. And then the side faces are all triangles, and they come all the way up to a point. That's going to show you that it's a pyramid. So let's just look at what those would look like and how we would name them. So this doesn't come to a point, it's a line on the top, and all the faces are not triangles. The ones on the sides are rectangles, so that fits with this one. The bases are going to be on the front and the back here, and those are triangles. So we would call this a triangular because the base is triangle, prism because all the sides are parallelograms. So if it has two bases that are the same, two triangles, two pentagons, two hexagons, and then all the other sides are rectangles, then it's going to be a prism. And you can name it based on what the base shape is. Here's a pyramid. See how it comes all the way up to a point and all of the sides are triangles going around. Now on the bottom you have a square or a rectangle. So this would be a rectangular pyramid. It comes to a point, all the sides are triangles. That's how you can tell the difference between those two shapes and how you can name them. So the shape of the base is going to tell you the name of the prism or pyramid. You could have a pentagonal prism, you could have a pentagonal pyramid. That would mean that the base for the prism you would have two pentagons, and for a pyramid you would have a pentagon on the bottom and then all the sides would go up to a point. Okay, let's talk about three-dimensional figures, drawing the front, side, and top. So this would be your shape with the blocks that would look like this. So there's 3 high, then 2, then 2. So if you were looking at it from the front, this would be your front view. You would see 1, 2, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you looked at it from the side, that would be over here. So you're only going to see 3 blocks high. The yellow, 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 and then the orange is what you would see. So that's why it looks like this, 1, 2, 3 high. And then if you looked at it from the top, let's see if I can do this. What would you see from the top? You would see the purple, orange, blue, and yellow on the top. So you would see 4 going across, which is what this one is. So hopefully that helps you on those problems. So you're going to have to imagine that you have it in your hands and that you're looking at it from the front, the side, and the top view. Just do your best on those. Okay, the next type of example are going to be counting faces, edges, and vertices. So I want to do it on this shape right here. So remember that your faces are going to be these flat sides. Okay, so what you would have is a front and a back, top and a bottom, side, and another side. These would be your faces, and you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Okay, the next one I want to talk about are the edges, or the vertices. So this is what I like to do to count the vertices. I like to just draw a dot in each of the corners because that's what my vertices are. If you draw a dot, then you can easily count them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So vertices would be 8. Edges are a little harder because you have to make sure that you're not double counting. So I like to draw a little dash mark. So I have 1 here, 2, 3, 4. That makes that square on the end. I have 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Those are the sides. And then I have 9, 10, 11, 12. So you would have to count, and I do a little dash mark in between each of the lines to make sure that I don't double count. So I count as I go. So remember, the lines are the edges, the faces are the flat sides, and the vertices are the corners. Your assignment for this section is textbook page 358, numbers 7 through 22, or you can go to bigideasmath.com and there's a chapter 8.1 practice there for you to do. You can check your answer up to 3 times for that. Just do your best. This is a new section. I've included some other videos to try and help you on this, but just do your best.